Hello, folks. You are in the right time and the right place because you are here on stream tonight to see match number 10 in the inaugural Imposter Kings Tournament 2020, an elimination match in the loser's bracket between Shane and masterx328. That's right, folks. Welcome again, as always, to the broadcast booth here on Imposter King Stadium. Great to see you, as always. I am Dan Koch. You are here with the inventor of the Imposter Kings, Sina Yeganeh. Sina, thank you for coming out again tonight. And this is, I wouldn't say the beginning of the end, it's the beginning of the climax for this tournament. We're coming up on a string of games that will settle it all. A series of consecutive matches tonight, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to decide what the fate of this inaugural tournament will be. Are you hype?
I am hype.
Great. Hype is good. It sounds like it. Sounds like the hype just can't be contained.
Look, I'm really excited to see, first off, this entire set of games. We have a lot of competitors climbing up the ladder to see who's going to make it to the winners finals, the losers finals, and finally the grand finals, which is all super exciting for me. Particularly tonight, we have Shane versus masterx328, where hopefully the better player will win and Shane will exit. So we'll see what happens here later tonight.
We typically tend to be impartial here in the Imposter Kings announcer booth, except when Shane is involved. Clearly, he's made an enemy in the creator of the game itself. But that doesn't mean that the game will be tilted against him. It's set in stone. And clearly, again, when you're doing well, that's when you get the attention like that right here. So should be good. Let's go ahead and use this as a moment to dive into how this game is played. It's time to learn how to play Imposter Kings. So how does one play this here game? Well, players take turns playing a card from their hand onto the throne. The objective is to be the last player able to play a card. Cards can only be played on cards of equal or lesser value unless they have a special ability that allows them to get played on the current top card. So here's a sample card we're about to see right here. The Elder, again giving us the strong side-eye action. The Elder, as you'll note in the top left-hand corner, is a 3. That means it can be played on any card 3 or less. But note also that text at the bottom that says you may play this card on any royalty. So even though it is just but a 3, it can be played on both of the royalty cards, which are 9s. That's right. So keep an eye on the Elder. There's 2 of them in the deck of 18. So yes, there are 18 cards in the deck. Each player is dealt 8 of those cards. The remaining 2 are burned, 1 face up and 1 face down. That means each player knows at the start of the hand where 17 of the 18 cards are. That face down burn card is where all the mayhem comes from. And yes, it's the same 18 cards every time. Each player also starts with a face up king card that's in front of them. And prior to each hand, each player from the 8 they were dealt burns 1 face down and selects 1 as their successor card, which gets taken out of their hand and placed face down next to their king. So what exactly does that king card do? Well, the king card, as we see right here, can be played once per hand. And when you play it, it does 2 things. One is it disgraces the current card on the court. We'll talk about what that means in a second. And the second thing is it takes that successor card that's face down right back into your hand. So you can basically hide a card, then take it back into your hand at the right time by using your king. As for disgracing a card, what that means is the disgraced card on the throne just becomes a 1. It has no special properties. It's got nothing going for it. It's just a boring blank placeholder of a card. Here's another example. There's 2 Inquisitors out of those 18 cards. It's a 4, as the number indicates. And with the Inquisitor, you can say a card name. Other players with that card in their hand must play 1 to their antechamber. What does that mean? Well, antechamber cards must be played next turn regardless of whether it would be otherwise a valid play. So effectively what an Inquisitor can do is if you play it, you as a player can guess what's in your opponent's hand, and if you're right, then they must play that card next turn. So not only do you get information about what they have in their hand, you're also forcing their hand in terms of what they do next. If you do it right, it can swing the game. A couple of other cards out of those 18 you'll want to keep an eye on. One on the left is the Fool. Notice it's just the number 1, which means it can only be played on disgraced cards. But when you play it, any card that's face up on the table you can pull straight into your hand. Can win you the game if you do it at the right time. On the right-hand side is the Assassin. Again, the Assassin's only a 2, but if your opponent uses their king and you've got the Assassin in your hand, bada bing, bada boom, they lose, you win, the game is over. Congratulations. So a lot of the game revolves around figuring out where the Assassin is, making sure that you don't end up stabbed on the ground if you don't have it, and that you do the stabbing if you do have it. A couple last things to note. The games are to 7 points. Scoring per hand, you get 1 point for winning, 1 point for the opponent still having a card in hand, and another point for winning without having to use your king. One other thing to note tonight is that each player gets 1 free mulligan. So if they don't like their hand, they can toss it away and, no questions asked, draw a new hand with their opponent. But once you've burned your free mulligan, any subsequent mulligan for the match costs you 2 points. So you'll only want to use it if you're confident that you will get your butt whooped that hand to get a 3-point loss. So that's how to play Imposter Kings. Let's take a moment to dive into where we are in the tournament right now. There it is, folks. There's the tournament. No, that's not pre-recorded, although if you've seen that many times, I can believe if you think it is. Here's where we are right now. We are in the losers bracket, the lower bracket right now, here in match number 10. Shane played just the last match Sunday night against Sasuke and won 9-3. Had Sasuke on the ropes 6-zip with Sasuke's mulligan used up. Sasuke crawled back into contention, but Shane put him away with a 3-point hand and advances into tonight's match against masterx328. masterx328 won his first match against Johnny Go, but then ran into Mr. Rogers, the top seed, who took a closely contested match 8-4, knocking Master X into the lower bracket into this match with Shane. The winner will advance on to play the winner of the Juno Bowls Dolan game. The loser is going home. And you've got to think it's going to be a heartbreaker for whichever player has to pack up and leave Imposter King Stadium tonight if they don't win tonight's match. So, Sina, a lot on the line, and as I mentioned again, it's the end of the beginning. All of this has been so much preamble to this moment. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight nights of Imposter King's action, starting with tonight, which begins with this match and ends with a champion being crowned. What are some things we should be looking forward to tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think Shane has been trying to prepare. As you know, Shane is someone who likes to choke when he's ahead with Juno Balls. He was up 5-0 before losing 2 Juno Balls, getting knocked to the lower bracket. And then with Sasuke, he almost choked again before he snuffed out the protagonist of our anime's life and exited him out of the tournament, thus foreseeing 500 years of darkness by not letting our anime champion win. So we're stuck with Shane here up in the losers bracket. He's been practicing pretty hard, and what he has said about his strategy getting up to this game, he watched Master X's game almost beat Mr. Rogers without even knowing WTF he was doing. And then he said, I also prepared by looking at a picture of Sina and generating a massive ball of hatred in my heart. So, you know, different strokes for different folks. Some people like to actually research the game and get better at it. Shane is just one of those people who just likes to get mad, and we'll see if that works out for him tonight. On the other side, we have Master X, who is actually, I think one of the crowd favorites, someone who came into the game not practicing at all, not knowing what half the cards did, and still was able to generate a victory in the first round, almost actually toppling the top seed, as he said, in the second round. His favorite strategy is to spin the assassin and then have it be blocked by the King's Guard, meaning King's Hand. That's an error on his part. But he feels sad. So Master X still not knowing what the cards' names are, but it's actually the people like Master X who are the most dangerous, because he is extremely tactical about how he plays this game. Even if he doesn't know what all the cards do, he's very unpredictable, and that's pretty scary.
That's right. That's exactly right. Master X has been playing this game for a long time. Played the very earliest alphas of this game when the rules were considerably different. It's been a learning curve to get on with the latest, but boy, has he. He's been a formidable competitor since the very first moment he set foot in Imposter King Stadium. For Shane, again, he just took a match on Sunday night to get to this point. I know he's made a lifelong enemy in you, Sina, but you got to admit
Not at all. I mean, not at all, Dan. Come on.
But he did play formidably, excellently on Sunday night. Do you think that that Sunday night momentum will help him here tonight, or do you think that maybe there's a fatigue factor coming into play?
Well, he did say that he allegedly plays better when he's not fatigued. We'll have to see if that actually plays. A lot of other players sometimes will get more pumped because they've got more reps in and they're more warm. So we'll just have to see whether he gets to his choking point early or whether it's something that's going to actually prep him to extend how long he goes before he inevitably chokes.
Well, there you have it, folks. Again, we're impartial here in the announcer's booth of Imposter King Stadium.
I'm just pointing out, I don't like this is. I wish both competitors the best of luck.
All right, well, there you have it. A great coda for what should be a great match tonight. It's time to step in to Imposter King Stadium and begin the festivities. See you there in 5 seconds. All right there, folks. It's time.
So it looks like we're live.
They sure are.
They are live and in action. So the way all matches begin is picking who gets the true king. The true king determines who gets to pick who goes first.
Take your king and then
it goes to whichever player lost the previous hand, but it's by random draw at the start of the match, and that's a very important thing. And it looks like
shuffle this a little bit.
That one.
Oops. I just took, sorry.
It's okay.
All right, we're looking to see. It looks like the Fool's the face-up burn card. The Mystic is the face-down burn card, a powerful card to have out of circulation. So folks aren't going to have to worry about the Fool. They know they won't have to worry about the Fool tonight, but the Mystic, that will be a mystery for the two of them. They both will suspect the other player likely has it, but they don't know. And that, again, is where the mystery will come into play. Project 13, great to see you tonight. So, all right, with the first player king landing on masterx, or on Shane's side, let's take a look at his hand first. Here we go. He got the assassin along with the zealot, the inquisitor, the oathbound soldier, sentry, and both royalty cards. So I'd say this is quite a strong hand indeed, Sina.
Yep, he's got both 9s. He's got an 8. He's got the Oathbound. He doesn't arrange his cards, so it's a little bit harder to kind of parse this. But he's got the Zealot, and he's got, yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of power here. He knows he only has to worry about one Inquisitor. He knows he might have to worry about the Mystic because the Mystic is the face-down card, so he has no idea. And the King's Hand. So if he can get those out of the hand, then that Assassin's going to be pretty potent. We'll see if he decides to successor it, keep it in his hand, or throw it away.
That's exactly right. With a top end this strong, the Assassin is a great combo. We'll see what he wants to do to protect it, or if he wants to use it at all. Going across the table to Master X's hand. So a very rainbow-rific hand. Both Elders, Inquisitor, Judge, Soldier, Oathbound, Warlord, King's Hand. With no Fool and no Assassin, it's not the strongest hand, but he has both Elders to counteract the royalty cards. An okay top end. What do you think on this one, Sina?
Yeah, I mean, he's still got an Oathbound, but without the Fool, that's going to be a little bit tough. He's got both Elders to combat the royalty, and he doesn't also think that the Mystic is there. It's scary because if he thinks that Shane has the Mystic, then what's going to happen is that he could probably Mystic those 3s, the 6, you know, but he doesn't know that he doesn't actually have it. He has the King's Hand to protect himself as a last resort against that Assassin.
That's right. He has a very survivable hand, but the question is, does he have the ability to hold on to enough high card energy to be able to actually win when this gets down to the end?
Yeah, if Shane decides to let him go first, it's going to be devastating because he has Inquisitor, Judge. He's got the Judge Soldier. I call it the battery because you can hit 2 turns with really high cards with no repercussions.
There you have it. So, all right, we'll see who goes first here. That's Shane's call to make, and let's see what he does.
Okay, I'll go first.
Which is the right call, I believe.
So let's see. Shane
Through the Zealot.
chucks the Zealot.
Interesting.
So while they're making these decisions, going into the first hand, what we ask for everyone out there is get hype. Chuck whatever emojis you can find into the chat there. I'll take your Bible thumbs. I'll take your Pog Champs. I'll take everything as we head into this first hand. Looks like on Master X's side, he successorizes the Warlord. He chucks an Oathbound. Interesting.
Actually, wait. Hold on a second. Sorry.
Oh, he's
Think-
taking that Oathbound back into his hand,
Reconsidering.
which he might need for later on. So I think that might be the smarter play.
I'd agree. Needs to survive and hold on to as much number pressure as he can manage.
Okay.
So instead, it's
Also,
the
the
judge
judge
that goes
instead.
out.
Yep.
Right.
Successor card on.
Give the Mystic.
Go straight for the Mystic attack, which we know for a fact is the face down card.
That's right.
Your turn.
So
Are
lucky
you
break there
sure?
for Master X. Sina,
This is good for him.
what was Shane's successor card?
It's an Oathbound.
It's an Oathbound. All right.
Okay, so firing back.
Do you have the Queen?
Interesting.
do.
So he's getting it out early.
Well,
So now
keeping
he's. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, keeping those dual elders means that he'll want to wipe those royalty cards out as quickly as possible and blunt the attack on Shane's side.
Oh, my turn?
Excuse me. So there you go. That's one royalty down.
Now on Master
Well,
X,
now, Johnny, you have to understand that Shane did not realize that the Mystic was the face down card. If he was able to get that Mystic out, then for sure he would have a huge advantage. But he realizes that it's either his successor. But based on that reaction, I bet you he thinks it's the face down card.
that's right. Now, interestingly, Master X only has one countermeasure for the assassin left. That is his King's Hand, having burned that Inquisitor to pull
Oh,
the
and
Queen.
here comes the pressure.
You have the Elder.
There we go.
Yes, I do.
This is going to be
It's a
tough
7.
for Master X. He's going to have to, at this point, has to either flip his king and do the assassin.
It is going to be hard, right? Because that's a 7 he needs to play on.
Yeah.
A correct soldier guess makes it a 7. So he's going to go with his Oathbound here.
And then, so that disgraces it. And then play soldier.
Okay, so he's firing back with the soldier, losing card
And
advantage
do
in the
you
process.
Have the assassin.
I do.
Ooh,
So
now
he
he
Okay,
does.
good to know.
confirms the assassin at this point.
So if
So,
you're Shane right now, what would you do?
well, you know the Master X has an Elder.
Yeah.
You would strongly suspect that he has the King's Hand.
Mm-hmm.
So, knowing what is in his hand and what he has available, you want to make him play the King's Hand. So I would just play
Correct.
the Sentry as a straight 8.
Really?
Because it forces the King's Hand out,
That's true.
and then...
I would actually flip here because by flipping, the only issue is that now he'd be foregoing a point. But I think he's going in for
That is
blood,
an 8.
following your advice. And here he goes. The successor for Shane is an Oathbound. The successor for Master,
Okay.
I believe, is a Warlord.
That's right. Successors, by the way, to Juno Balls, the successor for Master X is a Warlord. For Shame, it's an Oathbound.
Yep.
And for Master X, one thing you're probably regretting right now is that Warlord
Could
is...
have been really powerful right now.
Yeah, it would have been extremely powerful at the moment. I can see why he kept it as a winning hand, as a finisher, a card with enough number pressure to be able to win given what he had. But
Yep.
under this assassin pressure right now, it might be tucked away in a place where he'll have to die to get it.
And here comes the king flip. There's the assassin.
Boom.
There's the king's hand.
Throw
This is the
guy
right
out
play,
there.
I believe.
Okay.
I mean, the only play. Other than playing his king's hand, which would have eventually made him lose the game. And yeah, and now this is disgraced. The sentry on the deck is disgraced, and it's Shane's turn.
So yes, the Sentry now disgraced. Shane
I'm going to flip.
still going to king flip on the blank spot. Interesting.
Yep.
Okay. I am going to Warlord.
Oop, and Shane's got his number right here. So the Warlord is a 9.
I'm
However,
going to
he can play the Princess and force a swap.
and I'll use its ability to exchange.
And there you have it.
Oh shit!
Smart move.
Oh shit!
This is the one that got me a few times when I was playing against Juno Balls.
Oh,
Feel
no.
free to use it against me later. Yeah, it's like one of the sneakiest things in 2-player.
That is so sneaky.
That's right. That last card, Princess. The
Oh,
Princess
man.
is so powerful
Right.
as your last
I wonder what
card
this will be.
because of that swapping capability. The Princess has the ability to swap one card of
And
each
guess
player's
that doesn't
choosing with
work.
each other. And if you know that you can maroon the opponent with a card they can't play with the final card.
Don't even sweat it. I'm known choke artist. If I go up 6-0, it just means you're probably going to win.
See, no bias there, just simply the truth. And Shane, he played that excellently. I think
Oh,
he
man,
risked
what a
it for
play.
a 3-point hand, but he gets a calm, easy 2 points as well.
That's
You
right.
learn something every game this tournament.
Seriously.
I love Master X's energy.
That's right.
Oh,
And
man.
Shane did such a good job of recovering from his initial miss on the Mystic guess. And it really paid off there. Superbly played, as you mentioned, Sina. And the gauntlet is down. 2-zip. Shame after the first hand. The first player king will now pass to Master X. He'll choose who goes first this hand. The Sentry's the face up burn card. The Fool is now the face down burn card, where it is very confuddling to both players indeed. So that will make this an interesting hand.
As Dancing Flowers would say, only the fool. I don't know, that's a song of some sort.
That's right. There will be some dance act that made that song. So your Fool is our face down burn card. Let's take a look at Master X's hand to see what his decision will be in terms of who goes first. So he starts with both Elders again, the Zealot, Inquisitor Soldier, Warlord, and both Royalty cards. Very interesting hand. Satisfying to have both Elders and both Royalty cards because it doesn't leave many countermeasures for that, but a little bit scary not to have the Mystic.
Yeah, what's really funny is that normally you'd keep an Elder just in case they decide to fool one of the Royalty back into their hand, but we know that the Fool is face down, so this is honestly all of these hidden cards are just killing both players right now, and this one particularly is going to be tough because yeah, we'll see if Master X he's able to what he's going to do with his Elders essentially, whether he's going to chuck both, have one as a success or whatnot. Not a great hand, but not a terrible hand either.
Very winnable. Having Warlord, Queen, Princess, and both Elders means you've got a heck of a bludgeon. He's going to win or lose based off of how well he deploys those 3 cards.
Yeah.
All right, over on the other side of the table in Shame's hand. So, shuffled as always, you've got the Assassin in his hand, the Inquisitor, Judge Soldier, both Oathbounds, the Mystic, and the King's Hand. An interesting and motley collection here.
Yep. Really powerful if he's given tempo, essentially, because he's got the Judge, Soldier. We all know he's going to throw away the Judge, so I won't even make that joke, but lots of powerful, skillful cards. And he can really set up an Oathbound into a Mystic as well if he needs to, as like an emergency, get rid of one card. However, he has to save some of his Oathbounds for those Royalty, because his only countermeasure against the Royalty right now are essentially Oathbound and King Flip. So
That's right. Well, as Mike Draws Dota mentions, the palette swap here split is excellent. This is, as you mentioned, Sina, a high skill cap hand. It really is all going to depend on how he plays it out. I think he might keep the Judge if Master X elects to make him go first, but we'll see.
Oh, he should not, but we'll see what happens. Oh,
Here it is.
having a little bit of technical issues there, but we got there in the end. They should be going first here. Oh, here they go. Looks like, oh, he's making Shane go first. This is dangerous. There's so much here. And Master X seems like he knows exactly what he's doing. He immediately chucks the Elder, puts the Princess down.
Got it. So keeping the Princess handy and his successor. Again, a bit of a risk knowing the Assassin is out there. But we'll see. He's going to make Shane go first. Shane tucking away one of his 2 Oathbounds. And let's see what he elects to chuck here, knowing he does have to go first.
wondering if he's debating throwing away the assassin, thinking that he has too small of a hand for it. No, he wouldn't do that.
Sam mentioned this might be a good hand for the assassin bluff, and it's not a bad hand for the assassin bluff here on Shane's side.
Oh, and here comes that judge, just as we predicted.
And he flings the judge. You know, I thought him going first, he'd keep the judge. It's a great combo card with the Inquisitor, especially if you just want to survive long enough to get your assassin into play.
Yep, and he goes straight for the queen. Wow. So he gets rid of one of the royalty card. He guesses the right one. I can't believe he just got that. And now he has a choice. He either flips his king, which he just does, and there you go. I mean...
All right, well, with that king flip, Master X knows he's looking at an assassin again.
Correct. And so he can get rid of the assassin quite easily here by just tossing that
I don't
Inquisitor.
even know what to
which
do.
is actually why I would have been okay if he tossed the assassin, because what Master X should do here is just play the Inquisitor into assassin.
Oh,
But he's debating it.
That's right, with that nice blank, disgraced card there.
Do you have the assassin?
And that's what he does.
Now Shane could King's Hand this if he wanted to. He elects against it.
So now it's my turn again?
That's correct.
Okay.
If Shane got actually used the King's Hand there, he would have been able to force the assassin play. That was Master X's only play against the assassin. And there goes the Elder. I would have liked to see Shane actually King's Hand that, to be honest.
I think you're right. What I love about how Master X plays is on the auto feed, he always sounds completely befuddled, and then he makes exactly the right move.
Correct. Yeah, he's always, oh no, is this the right
so I'll
thing?
disgrace this and
he's
say
using his
the
power?
number 3.
So wiping the threes, which will affect Master X's Zealot. He chucked the other Elder and played his second Elder to the
Okay.
stack, so it's just getting the Zealot.
Okay.
That should be okay for Master X. He's really hoping he doesn't have to, yeah, I mean, he could just toss that, and there we go. It's even Stevens, I feel like.
Do you have the princess?
No.
That's going to be really good for Master X here. He's now able to play his soldier with impunity. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but now
Do
he
you
can
have...
guess this if he guesses this correctly, which he should. For example, the Oathbound is a for sure bet, no matter what.
That's right, which...
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's 100%. He should hit the Oathbound here.
Now, if you're...
Maybe I just want... Yeah. Let me think.
He's thinking.
Now, Shane's got...
No, I'll just ask. Do you have a... Oathbound?
Perfect. This is exactly what you're
Okay.
talking about.
So now Shane's got two options. He can either try to hang in this to win, or he can play his King's Hand and set himself up to be able to just race away for a 1-point loss.
Right. Yeah, if he plays the King's Hand, then he at least gets a 1-point loss with the cards that he has, except for the fact that the Princess could potentially... Oh, no, this is the problem, is that he can just King Flip Master X, and then he's going to play a 6 on a 1, essentially.
That's right. That would... You're right. You're absolutely right. It would force a King Flip. So, yeah, King's Hand would stick him with a two-point loss. Yeah.
Yeah, the way to get a 1-point loss would be the 6 into the 6, and then next turn play the 8, and then he's out. He's out. So that's the only way he can get 1-point loss here, and I think he has to take that. That's the concession he has to make.
And so Sam asks, can the princess be King's Handed? Yes, if her power is invoked. So it is part of the calculation behind invoking her power.
Went the wrong way.
So he does go, throws the 8 out. That likely will set him up for a 1-point or 2-point loss, although one
It's
out...
just an 8.
One out would be if Master X elects to play his princess and swap, but that seems to be the only way.
And even then, he can't do it. I mean, So I want to say I think masterx played this hand brilliantly. I think that Shane should have used the assassin pressure there to win. He didn't know obviously that the princess is the successor, but at that point he might have wanted to take the risk. And I'm surprised that masterx is able to come away with this.
All right, flipping the
So
king.
he flips his king.
So there's the flip.
Now Shane has to play a 6, and either of these cards that he plays will win the game.
You got me.
And there you go.
All right, well,
Got me.
there we have it. This is going to be an excellent match. They've
Yeah, I
al-
think
I
so.
don't know. I don't know. Try to do that princess trick.
Oh, he wanted to save up for the princess
That's
trick.
pretty good, anyways.
So there you have it. That's 2-2. Really good matches so far.
That's right. So, yes, the first two matches are split. 2-point win for Shane in the first hand, 2-point win for masterx in the second. Both played extremely well to win their respective hand. The first player king will pass back to Shane now. And let's see what the burn cards are for hand number 3. Face up burn is the Warlord. Face down burn is the Elder. Interesting. So now let's take a look at Shane's hand, knowing he's got that first player king, and we'll decide who goes first. So he got the Fool this time. We'll actually maybe see some play, along with an Elder, the one remaining Elder, Inquisitor, Soldier, and the entire top end. King's Hand, Sentry, Princess, Queen. Boy, a big beefy top to this one.
This is going to be a really fun one because masterx has the assassin. Shane's got the top end, and masterx has the double 7. So this could really just be a crazy game, and there's no oathbounds on the side of Shane either. In fact, he could probably sentry for one if he really needed it, but I think this is a strong hand, and it's going to be really interesting, especially I think the decision to who goes first is going to be the most important.
That's right. That's exactly right. So let's go across the table to see what masterx has in store. It should be both oathbounds, and is. So Mystic, Oathbound, Oathbound, Soldier, Judge, Zealot, Assassin, Inquisitor. So a lot of good survival cards between the both Oathbounds and the Zealot and Mystic. The question is, can he survive long enough to make that Assassin work?
Yeah, I mean, again, if he gets to go first, he can power it up quite a bit. But if he's not going first, I think this is a losing hand. I forgot that the Warlord was the face-up card, so he's going to see that as well. He's either going to have to land an Immaculate Mystic, and Shane's well known for doing this. I'm not sure if masterx studied his tapes, but if they play a high card, you Oathbound into the Mystic, it's unblockable. And I think that that's what he's going to have to do in order to be successful.
Yeah, wipe those 8s. Commonly, if you have neither 8, but you have the Mystic, that's the common play. We'll see if he tries it, and we'll see who goes first per Shane in just a moment.
I'll go first.
Okay, looks like Shane's
Okay.
going first here, which is, I think, the right play. Again, if I was Shane, I'd be careful with those high value cards with the Mystic not being out. And so I think the first thing he's going to do is probably Inquisit the Mystic.
All right. Let's see.
He tosses the Elder, not worried about the Fool or the Sentry because he has both in his hand.
That's right. He has no use for the Elder here. Looks like masterx has successored a Zealot. Thinking very carefully about what he wants to chuck here. And masterx has tossed a Judge.
That's right.
So masterx tosses a Judge. He successors a Zealot. That's the typical conservative play. Over on
Sorry,
Shane's
DK.
side, he's taking
Uh-oh.
he's going to keep that Judge. He's going to toss an Oathbound. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Something of a scary play, knowing you've got to survive and knowing you're not going first for the
Well, let's
Judge.
see what happens. I mean, we doubted masterx before, and he's shown results. Let's see if this is one of those crazy plays that works.
All right, over on Shane's side.
Interesting. He's gonna put down his Inquisitor as his successor.
Interesting, knowing he is going first, he still tosses the Inquisitor, meaning either he's going to start with a Soldier or he's just going to come out of the gate swinging. Here's a Soldier.
Oathbound?
I do have the Oathbound.
Okay, so this is a 7.
Yeah, 7 is hard on Master X's hand. It's
Okay.
big number pressure right away.
However, he could do the Oathbound into Mystic combo right now. This would, because the whole benefit of the Oathbound is that it disgraces a card immediately. That is, I think, the right play here, is for him to Oathbound into the Mystic and hit the 8s, which would be devastating.
Would you King's Hand that if you were Shane?
Well, you can't. That's the beauty
Oh,
of the
that's
Oathbound
right, of course.
Mystic combo. Please, oh my god, all the PogChamps.
Oathbound.
I hope he does the thing.
And-
Oh, I think he's going to go into the Inquisitor
That
instead.
is one of the higher value. And then
Ah.
Inquisitor.
So close to, I think, the dream. What is he going to pull here? Whatever he pulls is going to be even more dangerous than what
Yeah, there's really no card.
he wants to guess correctly. Or he could get rid of the princess early, I guess.
He'd have to flip his king.
Mm,
He's gonna have to, regardless of what any of the cards that Shane plays, other than the Fool.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is again, the only way he can play against those 2 royalty cards is with his Oathbounds and a king flip. Well, he used up one of the Oathbounds just a moment ago, so he really only has the 2 mechanisms left.
This is rough. This is really rough because I think he's gonna kick himself later for this.
I don't know, Shane. I don't know.
This is where he just says assassin.
Maybe I shouldn't have played that just to begin with. I'll go.
Yeah, it's tough. What could he possibly want Shane to play right now that works well with the hand he's got?
I'll go assassin.
Ah, he goes for it.
I do not have the assassin.
I love it, actually. I mean, it's not going to affect Shane unless he flips his king. And if he flips his king here, he's throwing away three points, and we would say the choke train is already on its way.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, right, is that I don't think, even if Shane does believe Master X, or doesn't think he has the assassin, he has no reason to flip his king. He can just bludgeon him to death right now with numbers and walk away with a 3-point win.
He's going to overthink it. Come on, Shane, don't overthink it.
Johnny Go pointing out that, Sina, you're a bad influence on folks mulliganing since you never mulligan.
It's for science. I think the most interesting hands are the ones that look really bad but turn out to be really powerful. I think Oathbounding into that Mystic might have helped. It's still a upward slog. You have to have like a Fool in that type of hand.
I think that's right. He's in a tough spot right now. The reason why it's taking him a very long time to consider this play is, again, I don't think there's anything he wants Shane to play that he likely has. All of those cards will put him in a bad shape.
Well, he should know that the Oathbound is gone, so he might as well just play an 8, and then it's going to force a king flip. Oh my gosh, he flipped his king?
Oh my god.
Are you kidding me? Why did he give up that random point? Oh my
I
gosh.
thought you might.
I know.
What is he?
Well, he bought the bluff. That's
long.
that's what Master X set up. But with his hand as it was, that does seem like a bizarre move.
I can't. I think the choke train is ramping up.
For him, even if he did buy it, and Master X sold it very
I'll
well,
go Mystic.
he had such a
Make
strong
sure to
hand.
Say 8.
Okay, so there you go. He's going to hit the other 8 with
So
the...
this gets disgraced.
Oh my goodness me.
So remind me, Sina, what is Master X's
Last
successor?
turn.
He's got a Zealot, I
Would've been
believe.
Potent,
Zealot,
for
okay.
sure.
So Shane still has the inside track on this. He's got way better numbers than Master X does. But, the question is now, it's not going to be a 3-point win. Could it be a 2-point win, or could he wriggle out of this completely?
He could wriggle out of it with a judge if he can get that judge out. The only issue is he doesn't have an Oathbound to lead into that judge, but he's still got a judge. So I think as long as Shane doesn't... I've never seen him choke twice. But we'll see.
All right, he
Take the Oathbound.
reclaims the Oathbound.
Nice.
Yeah, this is, if I was Master X at this point, I would flip and actually try to go for that judge to get 1 point. But he's doing it right now. Just he's playing that judge right now. And he could do it with the Elder too, as long as Shane does not play a royalty.
That's the Fool.
What? He just gets the Fool?
What are you guessing?
Fool.
He's literally playing
No,
it
the Fool I
on the
just played.
Fool.
Yeah.
So, does he intend?
Something else.
For a second, I thought he was trying to intentionally miss with it for
August.
some reason.
Maybe you read the card wrong at that.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Shane being a good sport and letting him play back his hand. So basically all Shane has to do is, yep, that's the first step. Second step is let him play the soldier there.
So he's got to be careful.
Queen.
So he guesses the queen again. So that's a 7.
So Shane has to be careful here because, again, the tuck away card for Master X is the Zealot. Now Zealot
He has to know that.
Yeah.
Oh no, he doesn't.
Okay.
He doesn't know that because of the fact that yeah, I mean he doesn't have that information yet.
That's right, and so
Could be the Elder.
that's right. So, Master X has 2 plays. He can flip his king. He can play his Zealot. Now the Zealot can play on any card except for royalty once the king is flipped. So if Master X allows him to play on something non-royalty after this king flip, then it will end up being a 1 point.
He
He
showed
just
it.
flipped it with it not in his hand.
He
No
showed.
problem. Alright, so that's flipped.
Oh no, he showed it. It's fine because he played the right
And I will
royalty, so now he can
play
play that and
the
force a swap.
princess.
Well, he doesn't
And
even
I'll
have to
pretend I
force a
didn't see
swap.
that card.
Yeah, he's gonna
and
pretend
I'll
like he didn't see it.
Exchange you a card. Because that's what I was gonna do anyway.
That's smart. Yeah, did you give me an Elder?
Give me the Elder.
Yes.
Although it does sound like something I'd do.
All right, so he does it right
rough.
and gets himself
Rough.
2 points out of that.
I mean, you had
Bubble.
a tough hand to play there. Ooh, and the Elder was the other burn. Yeah, you didn't have a lot of defense.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think that should have been a 3-point hand. Again, always saying the classic phrase, "We know more obviously than they do." So it's kind of unfair. But at the same time, that's just a painful. I think. I mean, he's still got the 2 points. Slow and steady still wins the race. It's 4-2. He's by no means out of it. The only thing he could have done there is just given Master X an Elder, and then that would have been disastrous if he had one. But he seems to be sitting well here. And looking at the cards just from the top, it's not a bad hand for either of them. Let's see what happens here.
That's right. So, important thing, right? That means Shane being up 4-2 after 3 hands is 1 win away, a 3-point win away from taking the match. But Master X holds on to his mulligan. So there's not much reason for him to allow a 3-point loss unless he gets misplayed somehow.
Oh, yeah.
So Master X now gets the true player king. He'll go first. Let's look at his hand. And as you mentioned, it's an interesting hand. He's gotten the specialty cards, the Fool and the Assassin, along with the both Inquisitors, the Judge, the Oathbound, the Mystic, and the Elder. So he's got survivability. He's got the specialty cards. He has nothing at the top.
Yep. Yeah, that's tough. And I really wish that he trained with the Oathbound Mystic combo because I think more than ever he's going to need it here. He's also got the double Inquisitor. Maybe he can pull out like the Zealot or the Elder. He does not know that the other Elder's face down. Of course, he always has the Oathbound full combo, which for those of you who are newer, you can play an Oathbound on a higher value card, which forces you to play another card, and the Fool lets you reclaim a card. So it's a really good combo to have against higher numbers.
That's right. All right. Actually, before that, let's just take another quick look at the burn cards here, just so everyone can catch them. So Burn cards, the Oathbound is the face-up burn card, and the other Elder is the face-down burn card, which again is going to hurt Master X here, because let's take a look at Shane's hand. He's got Zealot, both soldiers, Warlord, Sentry, King's Hand, Queen, Princess. Pretty similar hand to the one he had last time.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think in the hands of the skillful play on Master X's side could actually see him win this hand, honestly. And I think it's because of the full Oathbound combo. It's because of the Mystic, a really good, well-timed Mystic, and the fact that he does have an Elder. So this is by no means a Shane hand, even with having 3 of the highest cards in the deck. And that's kind of a testament to the game's design, where there is not just a number that is the most important thing, but actually the abilities. Not to pat myself on the back, but it's my favorite part of the game. So
that's true.
We'll see what happens.
Master X does have a path to victory. He's going to have to play his butt off to make this work.
Yep.
And we'll see who he wants to go first here, and if he even wants to play this hand.
Yep. We'll see what they decide to do.
Oh, you go first.
He's gonna give away tempo. I think that it's not terrible if he knew about the Oathbound Mystic combo, because then he can force him to play something that's gonna force him to actually lose, or to actually have that actually a thing that he can do, which is all of his cards are, especially if he gets the soldiers correct. So this is, I think, a really interesting play. I'm wondering if he knows that Shane essentially has 7s, 8s, 9s in his hand and is just trying to force him to play those early. And that's why he would keep the assassin potentially.
Yeah, most likely.
He likes to throw away the judge. Oh, the judge is coming back. He tends to do this.
Interesting. Well,
Choose the princess as a successor over on Shane's side.
Princess is the successor for Shane. I mean, Master X knows he's got both Inquisitors, so his
Tosses the Zealot.
So his assassin has got protection. He tosses one of the Inquisitors. Shane tosses the Zealot. So without either of the Inquisitors lurking, there's a lot less to fear by keeping the assassin in your hand.
I should decide this beforehand, but I feel like watching you put face down cards helps me make my decision, and it doesn't.
I mean, this is great. I think so. Master X can win this hand now, and I think this is great.
I don't know that my method is any better than that.
Thought by him, especially if he gets the Mystic out and he can force the King's hand, right? If he forces the King's hand, then Shane is dead in the water. He has nothing to deal with that assassin, and he can stall as long as he wants, as long as he has that 6-1 combo. So it all just comes down to how they play these hands. And again, I think both hands are really interesting.
Okay,
one is just
go
brute
for it.
force. The other one is
Right.
dancing around.
All right, looks like the judge is a successor for Master X. He leaves the assassin out, which makes sense given where they are. And it'll be Shane going first. Leads off with the soldier.
Now, if I'm Shane, I would
do
be
you have the
curious about the
Inquisitor?
assassin.
I do.
Oh, it looks like he just wants to make
so
sure he
it's a
gets
7.
it.
Yeah, picked a safe guess. Not really trying to get information. He just wants it to be a 7. And a 7 puts real pressure on that hand of Master X's because he has a weak numerical hand.
Correct.
Okay.
Please Mystic the 8s. I think he's going to go into an Inquisitor, though. His hand gravitates towards it. Oh my gosh, so close. Yeah.
Do you have
Get rid of the King's
the
hand.
Queen?
Goes for the
I
Queen.
do.
Interesting.
Okay, trying to get royalty out. I suspect an Elder play would be coming here, not a King flip. We'll see. And it makes...
I hope so, because now with the Elder out, then he can actually get that Fool potentially to work in his favor.
That's exactly right. That's the reason to get the Queen out early, is get her power of invalidating the court out early, so there's something good to pick up later on.
However, now he has lost his... Now that he has lost his only counters to high numbers, the 6, the Oathbound, now it's just free reign. And this is why the Mystic play was so important. Now, Shane could literally just win this game if he plays an 8 and then plays another 8.
That's right. Or the Warlord right now would also force a King flip.
Correct.
Mystic.
I think he said Mystic.
Sorry,
Do you have the Mystic?
I do.
Okay, so that's a 7.
He's gonna want
I
to
will
use the
Yes.
yeah.
this.
He's keeping the 9 alive just so he can Warlord it. He should know that the threat of the Oathbound
Realistic.
full combo is gone.
And then say 8.
Will he King's Hand it?
He has to.
I'm gonna think about that for a sec.
He absolutely has to, because even if he doesn't, then his King's Hand is useless against the assassin. He does. Okay.
I'll King's Hand it.
Man, I am
I
getting...
got disconnected from the server.
Oh,
I'll get
Uh-oh.
them back in.
I'm pretty sure that you can get invited back.
So just a little bit
I
of a
don't have you
technical
on my
glitch
friends
there.
list, though, so I think Sina has to do it.
No one knows who Sina is. We gotta wait for the cards to
And I think
load.
we need to wait for your mod caching for a sec.
Yep.
So while they're jumping back in, so Johnny Go mentioned Master X should have mulliganed here again,
Oh,
I think for
absolutely
sure.
not.
You can King's Hand a Mystic?
Yes, you can't King's Hand an Oathbound.
Or the card that the Oathbound allow us to play.
King's Hand
Yep.
Oathbound. Okay.
I think he's
You can
putting
King's
all the
Hand a
math.
Mystic.
He's
So if you had
putting the math together.
Oathbound into Mystic, then the Mystic is uncounterable. But if you just throw the Mystic out there, then I can react.
Got it. Got it.
I think Master X,
So is it my turn now?
in knowing that knowledge, would have been
It
able
should be,
to
yeah.
either win this
Okay,
game or keep it to a
flip this
1-point
bad
loss. Don't at me, and we have the
Okay.
notation, so we can replay it. Don't worry, Johnny, go. I'll play it with you. Whew.
Oh, does
All
this
right.
flip?
No, you just disgraced yourself when you put it down. Oh, it does because you flipped.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he just flipped the king. Perfect. All right.
All right, either card wins. He just has
Correct.
to, and not only does it win, it's a 3-point win. It will win the match.
Yep.
As long as he doesn't play the
Flip his
sentry,
king.
and
He's gonna
then
flip his king.
as long as he doesn't flip his king or play the sentry to try to pick up
Oh
the
my
queen.
gosh.
The Warlord.
But
and
here
that's
it
a
is.
9 because of the Queen.
And I am going to lose.
Oh.
Oh man, that's a heartbreaker for Master X. But yes, that has no play on top of that Warlord. Counts as a 9 in the court with the queen already there. That's a 3-point hand for
3
Shane.
points to Shane.
Oh, that was 3 points? Wait.
Dang.
Oh, because I didn't flip.
That's huge. That
He
is
doesn't even
huge.
realize that he won.
I was not expecting that. Very good games, sir.
So
Congratulations.
look
Thank
at
you.
that. Hand number 4 goes 3 points to Shane.
What do you have in your hand?
I have another sentry, and I think I made a huge mistake putting this princess as my successor, because I was, because I was like, how am I going to get this mystic out? And I was like, oh, I'm just going to get him to send it out with the Inquisitor. And I was like, wait, I don't have the Inquisitor. I was like, oh, I need him to play the Inquisitor, and then I have to sentry it up, and then I have to play the Inquisitor to get him to play the mystic so that I don't lose. It was, I kind of, yeah.
Well, there you have
Yeah.
it, folks.
That's right. 3 points to Shane gives him the match, up 7-2 on Master X. Well, normally we would all get hype after the 4th match, but the 4th hand, well, the 4th hand was it. So, folks,
I have something to hype it right now.
I'm gonna ask you to get hype right now with the table flip for these two great competitors that played a great match tonight. Unfortunately, only one could go home victorious, and tonight that's going to be Shane, winning for the second time in 3 nights to stay alive again and progress up the loser's bracket. Meanwhile, Master X, unfortunately, it's the end of the road for him. Extremely well played, but that will be all.
That's right. It was a hard-fought match. Master X, I think if he had the card knowledge about the Oathbound into Mystic, that's 2 games he would have done a little bit better in. But I think you know, as you say, in this game, there's quite a lot of different strategies, and his strategy didn't pan out just quite this time. He was up against a couple of difficult hands, and as much as fun as I like to make Johnny go for, you know, him saying that he would mulligan that hand, sometimes you don't want to take that risk, and sometimes you just got to do it.
All right, well, that's it for us in Imposter King Stadium. We're going to step out to the interview room now. See everyone in just one moment. Well, Sina, very hard fought. Every hand had lots of twists and turns to it. Felt like the cards were against masterx328 those last few hands, but he elected to play them, and in the end, it turned out not to work on his favor. I know the big discussion right now in the chat is to mulligan or not to mulligan. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I would not mulligan a hand like that just because I'm super comfortable with taking the risk of hitting the mystic into the 8s in that situation. However, you never know. I mean, it could have been the face down card was an 8, and that mystic, to Oathbound to Mystic, would have actually hurt you. The other big decision that Master X has to make is who goes first. And if he elects to let Shane go first like he did, he's going to start off with a 7 in his face, like highly likely, because knowing of all the cards that he could have had. So it's really just determining what you think your strategy is going to be and trying to disrupt your opponent's strategy there. And I think it didn't work out for him. And it was a costly 3-point hands that unfortunately gave him a ticket out of the tournament.
Well, Sina, as we know, you like to play it risky, and, you like to see the brightness in every hand, where the opportunity may lie. In this case, though, it did cost him because he ended up, the risk did not pan out. He ended up losing 3, and that's it for Master X tonight. But he did play very well, especially, again, for someone who did not have the reps coming in. He played well, he fought hard, and it's a shame to see him have to go home, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah, I'm going to miss him, especially since so he is someone who a lot of people are just paralyzed by cards that they may or may not have and whatnot. And what Master X Lee does, he knows that those cards can be risky, but sometimes he just goes with it. And I'm going to miss that play style.
That's absolutely right. Well, let's see if we can get him in here in the interview room to chat a little bit about the match we just witnessed.
Yep. And I think first we're going to have masterx328 join us. Here he comes now.
Here he is.
Let's see if he's going to unmute and or share his video.
Jumping through the Zoom hoops. Perhaps a little dejected coming out of that match.
Oh, there he is.
Master X, great to see you. A very hard end to that match, but you played superbly. Just ran into a couple of very strong hands. How's it feel coming out of that one?
The elimination it stings.
So we were just chatting a little bit. There's been a pretty fierce argument about whether to mulligan or not to mulligan between the chat and Sina. Sina's coming down on the not mulligan side to play those hands. The chat suggesting maybe it would have made sense to mulligan one of those hands or the other. You elected to play them. Given how it worked out, would you revisit that decision, or you think that you made the right call?
I think I'd revisit that decision. I'm just not very familiar with the mulligan rules. There's something about losing 2 points, right?
Well, you get one free mulligan, and after you use your free mulligan, then they start costing you 2 points. So that's the debate.
I should have asked. And then, I played that game
against This is your third
Will.
game, by the way.
I played that game against Will where he mulliganed, but you don't mulligan until, after you guys talk about all the cards. And then I was like, it feels so weird. They just spent all that time talking about the cards. I don't want that to feel like it was wasted.
Yeah, so you're doing it for the audience, and this is probably why you're one of the crowd favorites here, is your lack of knowledge about the game rules and and your dubious play sometimes. But no, you played fantastic, actually. I think one of the things that really stands out for me, as I was telling everyone, is that you play unpredictably sometimes, and you play aggressively too, and it let you win the first round, get 4 points against Mr. Rogers, who's one of the top seed. And, you're starting to kind of climb back here. It was a difficult couple of hands that you had in those last 2 rounds. And unfortunately, it cost you 3 points in that last round.
That was rough. I just thought that I could get that judge and the fool out, but Shame told me that I could not.
Yes, you cannot use the fool on the judge. And I believe that's something you tried to do in your last match as well. So, at what point is it your fault, or at what point is it my fault? Anyways,
Yeah.
you've garnered quite a lot of fans here. What would you like to say to them?
Really appreciate the fans. The Twitch chat is amazing. Make sure you sub to these guys and buy Imposter Kings.
Wow,
Yeah.
bravely said.
Well-
After what a match.
Master X, thank you so much. Again, it's been a joy and a delight to have you as part of the tournament. We're hoping you really enjoyed your matches and that you enjoyed the experience of being a part of it. It's a shame that experience has come to an end, at least as a participant, but now you get the chance to join in on the chat and join the gallery here, where we get to second guess every move from our omniscient and ivory tower perch while folks are in there battling it out.
That's
So
perfect.
We're starting to get more and more I would say cocky up here in the perch. So if you want to join us, we're really smart up here.
I'll be in the chat. I'll be flaming the players and the hosts.
Awesome.
Well, Master X, thanks again. Thank you again for participating in the tournament. We're gonna miss you, but again, this won't be the last tournament, and we're hoping to see you out there and fighting for when we pick it up next time.
And don't practice before the next tournament either.
I won't.
All right. That's a Master X guarantee. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Honestly, it was great to have you on the show. So
Give love a chance.
Peace.
strong words by Master X here. Give love a chance. Words of compassion during this time. We're going to miss him.
Yes, we will. And again, he's for the next tournament or just pick up games he plays in the future, he's going to be extremely dangerous because again, once he gets those reps in, he's clearly got a great knack for this game and will be a very fierce competition. Well, once again, for the second time in 3 nights, the man of the hour is going to be Shane. Once again, surviving here in the lower bracket. So let's get him in.
All right. And he's got a nice little rose garden icon there. Feeling like you're in the Garden of Paradise there, Shane?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm just soaking it in, just living the life here in my
Yeah.
garden.
Well,
so congratulations, by the way. You barely stopped yourself from choking after the first round. And then a couple times there, you made a couple 3-point hands, 2-point hands. But at the end, you were able to come out with a 7-point victory.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
Yeah, I mean, earlier on, you were saying, I'm not sure how it's going to affect us because I'm going straight from a Sunday match to today's match. And like whether that's going to help you because you have the practice or whether it's going to cause you to burn out and choke early. I predicted that you're going to choke early rightly, but it doesn't matter because at the end, you still got 7 points and are advancing to the next round.
Well, lucky for me, the game is mostly RNG, and I just got dealt great hand after great hand that even though I piloted them poorly, they were unlosable. So, thank the gods of randomness for that.
yeah, it's a shame that the game is designed so poorly that it's so subject to RNG, but you take what you can get. But
You used the word deterministic like 2 nights ago, so I don't buy it, but that's okay. I mean, this is your time to shine for now. Your next match, I believe, is going to be the victor between Juno Balls and Dolan.
Yes.
What are you predicting there, and how are you going to prep for that?
I mean, they're both giant heels, so I'm looking forward to it because I think everyone's going to be rooting for all 3 of us to lose. For some reason, despite the fact that Juno Balls is one of the world's biggest heels, people love him, and I think people will root for him, which is why they'll be extremely disappointed when he loses either to Dolan or me. But my preparation.
Strong words.
It's going to be minimal.
It's going to be minimal. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's going to be. I'm feeling like completely inebriated. I can still kind of fumble my way through. I'm obviously lucky, and that's all that you really need.
He's taking the other strategy here where he's instead of talking about his game strategy, perhaps he's taking a humbler approach.
Shane, you've got ample fans out there. As a matter of fact, just for this interview, the audience count in the stream has spiked up because folks you know, they want to see you. They want to hear you. You're an inspiring story. You're a story that is really developing here as part of this tournament. I think people are really rooting for you to continue on and to fight your way through the lower bracket into the finals here. You know, in terms of that next match coming up against you know, two heels, folks who you know are certainly are drawing a lot of attention here in the lower bracket. Do you see yourself as the face in that? Are you seeing yourself as the well, I'm trying to think of a good wrestling face. The say like the Stone Cold Steve Austin to their Bam Bam Bigelow.
More Undertaker to their Ultimate Warrior, and that's my era, anyways. I just, you know, I watched Dolan's last game, and the difference between the first time he played and the second time makes me actually like quite scared of him, and I'm hoping that Juno lucks one out and beats him so that I get the rematch to just humiliate Juno in front of everyone.
Last question, Shane. If you had 2 8s in your hand and your opponent played both 6s, one's a face up one, one's face down, and you have both 8s in your hand and there's literally nothing else that they can play, but you know that they have an assassin in their hand, would you flip your king, or would you just play those 2 8s to win 3 points?
I think I'd flip.
Yeah, that's exactly what you did, I believe. Would you take that back?
Well, I won, so no.
All right. Sometimes 3 is worse than 2 is what Shane, you heard it here first from Shane, and we'll see if that strategy pans out for you. Even numbers, maybe something to go along with that. So thank you so much, by the way. Congratulations. And yeah, I believe your next match is coming up pretty soon. I'll make sure it's next.
Well, Shane, I just want to say, just to cut in here, that you might be getting a lot of flack from this side of the commentary booth, but I'm pulling for you. I'm excited to see you continue to proceed on here, potentially all the way to the finals. You played terrifically tonight against a competition that is really strong. You made all the right moves, and this is a very well-earned win indeed.
And, you know,
you did win.
Dovetails nicely, yeah. That dovetails nicely into what I was going to say, which is, you know, commentary-wise, you've just been carrying this tournament. You've made it that much more exciting, and just huge props to you. I feel like you're a natural at this. You could do it in a number of venues, obviously, and everyone should be checking out Super Quiz because you guide that so masterfully. And Sina is obviously lucky to have you. So.
I truly am. So thank you for that, Shane, or Shame. When we'll hopefully see your name change back at some point during the tournament. And we look forward to your next match, which will be this Thursday, Friday. You're going to be on Friday at 9 p.m.
See, this is how Sina sets you up, is he tells you the wrong night, and then you lose by forfeit. That's all part of his strategy here.
It is part of the rules.
But no, thank you again. And thanks again. Congratulations. And yeah, we'll see you later this week.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Well, I'm blushing, actually. That was really, really sweet for Shane to say.
Don't let it get to you.
My head just grew, just like the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes. That wintry Christmas morning, my head just grew 3 sizes. I'm going to have to buy all new hats and tiaras for my own head. Yeah, it was a great match. He did not put a foot wrong tonight. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things shake up. So speaking of how things shake up, it's time to look at the bracket to see what this does to it. Let's take a look at what the bracket looks like now.
I did not update it this time.
That's okay. We're just going to fix this here 1 second. Sorry, I realized that the cheat sheet is still on the screen. So there you have it, folks. So with the victory tonight, Shane moves on to play, as we mentioned, the winner of the Juno Balls Dolan match. So again, that's going to be very hotly contested indeed. Master X, unfortunately, is out. And I believe that match, the Juno Balls Dolan match, is tomorrow night's match. Is that correct, Sina?
That is correct. So we'll see you all here tomorrow at 9 p.m. for the Dolan Juno Balls match, the one that we've been talking about, the one everyone's been talking about. And whoever wins that will fight against Shane on Friday at 9 p.m.
That's right. So definitely tune in tomorrow night for Juno Balls versus Dolan. And after that, the winner of that match will face Shane again on Thursday night. And that's going to be right after Super Quiz. So just as Shane mentioned, Thursday nights at 7:30 p.m., we do live trivia right here on the same channel. If you're interested in that, follow the channel or drop a message in the Twitch chat. We will get you set up to participate or even just hang out 7:30 p.m. Pacific on Thursday nights right here. And then at 9 o'clock, that's when that match will be. So we've got Imposter Kings Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all at 9 o'clock. And then the grand finale, the finals for all of the marbles, is going to be at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, right after the Sunday Super Quiz right here. So it's going to be exciting. We've got a lot of matches, 5 intense matches between the 5 remaining intense competitors. It's, what is it, Sina?
100% unmissable.
100% unmissable. So, folks, for all the folks on the chat who made this a wonderful night, thank you again. Thank you also, Master X, for spreading around all of those gift subs and gift emotes. Very much appreciated, I think, from everyone who's in the chat. Folks, had a great night. Seeing any last comments before we call it?
Nope, just thank you all for supporting the stream, and we will see you, and those of you who are watching the VOD, and we will see you tomorrow at 9 p.m.
Good night, everyone, and have yourselves a great evening.